good Friday morning. Today's Friday, December 27th, 2024. And my has 2024 just breezed by. This is the last time we're going to do this in 2024, Dave.
Number 52, Dennis.
Number 52. You made it. We made it as a group 52 times this year. Next year, we're going to have some challenges. I think we got at least one holiday on a Friday next year, July 4th.
You'll enjoy that time. You can have the mic all to yourself.
Well, you're so kind. You're so kind. My name's Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department here at Prime. And, you know, as David and I were just chit-chatting about, we tried to do this every single Friday morning, even the Friday after Thanksgiving when Dave was here, and now the Friday after Christmas when Dave and I are here. We've got a pretty small, intimate group here in Springfield. Hopefully folks are either out running freight and taking care of our customers and doing it safely, or out spending some time with some family and creating some memories and all that, you know, lovey-dovey stuff.
It's all important, man. That work-life balance, got to have that. And
absolutely.
Being a truck driver and, you know, working here at Prime, it's tough. It's tough sometimes to get home. But if you're home, enjoy that time. You know, enjoy the time with your family. And if not, maybe you're going to do it later on in January or whenever you can, and that's great too. But you need to have that work-life balance, and sometimes being behind the wheel all the time gets a little tiring. So,
you know, every family's different. You know, some folks do the Christmas Eve, some folks do the Christmas Day, some folks do multiple. You know, I've got my little family here, and we did our deal on Christmas, but I'm going to take a weekend trip up to St. Louis next weekend and spend some time with my mom and the rest of my family. So everybody's a little bit different. And that's why we always talk about where you can make a little bit of time if you want to come out early, or if you want to, you know, grab something, go through the house and come back, whatever the case may be. You know, there's options to get everybody taken care of. So, hey, we are live here in Springfield, Missouri. We are simulcasting to our other locations in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and Salt Lake City, Utah. As always, we're live across the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So we appreciate you guys that are watching. We do have a ton of folks that watch this. We wish a lot more Prime drivers would watch, you know, but we get a lot of drivers from other companies watching. We get a lot of our customers that watch these. We get a lot of, you know, some other independent contractors that help us out in one way or another that are watching these. Folks are always interested in what Prime Incorporated is doing. And this gives folks a bird's eye view every Friday morning of what we're doing. So
shows you how transparent we are too, because there's a lot of information that gets shared up here, and sometimes many things I learn up here from people and from different departments. I didn't know what we were doing, and sure enough, that, you know, our drivers ask the questions, and this is an open forum. If you have questions on something, ask. If we don't know, we'll figure it out, or we'll get back with you, and we'll get that answered. So, and just like Dennis said, man, if there's a topic you want to down for future Friday morning meetings, let us know. We'll get somebody in here that can talk about it, and we'll discuss it, and hopefully get your input too as well. So that's what it's about.
Awesome. Hey, let's find out who we got with us on the East Coast. I think we got Rick Iford and Richard Brock. Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. You know, it was a quiet week this week, and I would like to say I'm with you on the Fridays. We're here every Friday with you guys when we can be, and it's been a pleasure for us to do that. And we're looking forward to another year of Fridays to sit down with all of our drivers and just converse.
Absolutely. Good morning, Richard. How are you this morning?
You know what? I am doing fantastic. Had a great Christmas. I think everybody's doing great. We had people in the office, some food in the office. Things are going really well. I actually have a couple of things that I need to cover this morning, if I can take just a minute to cover these items. You know, we've got trucks that come by and they're dropping off students and picking up people, but they're doing it out in front of the terminal. And I would ask you guys, please, that's a huge safety risk. There's a lot of traffic that comes through there. I would ask you that when you're coming by Pittston, don't park out in front of the terminal. Come on into the inbound area, get them picked up there to be a nice, safe spot. There's just a lot of trucks that go by out there. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So please avoid that. Next thing I would say is if you're coming to Pittston, especially right now, make sure that you get with sales, get or with your fleet manager. They'll get with sales, tell you where you can drop that empty ready trailer so we can keep it at our customer. We are pretty tight on parking right now. We are moving things off the yard to continue to make space, but there is very tight and limited parking right now. So while you're doing that, I know a lot of folks are wanting to come in and get IFTA stickers. That is going to be the next push that everybody's going for. So as far as IFTA stickers go, if you're coming into Pittston, make sure that you go to the plaza to get those. That's where you will pick your IFTA stickers up. And remember, you got a little bit of time to do that. We don't want to wait too long, but if you're coming here specifically, that I would probably wait just a bit to do it, maybe a couple weeks here until we get where we're not so jam-packed. And on a brighter note, I want to announce that we actually have some changes going on with the instructor pay. So for those of you that are PSD instructors, or maybe you've been considering getting into instructing, we do have some changes that are going to be going on with that. As of 1/1/25, the pay for PSD instructing is going to go to a different format, and that format is going to be $500 on the week that you pick that PSD up, and then it'll be for independent contractors, it'll be a $2,500 payout on the day that you test them out. So no more weekly bonuses as that goes, or longevity bonus. It'll be kind of all in the bag all at once, and it'll be covering that downtime when you do bring them in to test them. For company drivers, that'll be a $1,500 test pay. So we'll put that out on social media. We'll also put that out over the app. So if you have other questions about it, please call your dispatchers and they can go over that more. Or you can always reach out to myself, Stan Kasterke, Blake Meredith, or Steve Larson, and we can go over those with you as well. And if you have any questions after the meeting, I'll be around. We also have Rick Yarbrough here, and we have Rick Effort, and we have Jarek Lilly as well, if anybody has questions here.
Yeah, Richard, I just want to tag on to one thing. Good morning, gentlemen. Just want to tag on to one part Richard talked about with moving stuff down to the pad. I think we finally got our draft done of the parking situation. And I think what we really haven't publicized yet is, you know, for a Christmas present to all of us, Robert's agreed to expand the training pad building. And Mr. Brock has told me that a lot of drivers and trainers have asked for some amenities down there. So we're going to add some shower rooms and a laundry room, nice little pavilions for our drivers down at the pad so they don't have to always wait on the shuttle to come up here. So yeah, we're going to make it real nice. And if you watch the next Prime Ways magazine to come out, we did a little write-up in there, and I think she's even going to include a diagram of our new parking down at the pad. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year next year. That's all I got, gents.
All right, guys, that's a ton of information, a lot of new stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that here a little bit later. That's some really good information. Really, really appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Thank you.
All right, let's go out to the other side. Our folks out west. Jonathan Grice is on vacation this week, so we've got John Greeley. Good morning, sir.
Morning, guys.
What do you got
How
for
are
us
you?
this morning? Doing okay.
And I'll tell you what, with pays like Richard's talking about there, I'm thinking maybe I should go back to driving. Those bonuses sound pretty good.
I don't know. Can we qualify you? Can you still drive a truck or not?
I don't know. My eyesight's gotten a little bit worse, but I think I could probably still do it.
That's just age. That's all that is. I remember you used to have that long hair and it was nice and blonde. Now you're balding and gray, just like the rest of us.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, it's getting cold out here in Utah, so I just kind of want to remind everybody, if you're coming out west, especially in the Northwest, to kind of watch out for the weather and plan around that. Let's make sure that we stay safe, shut down if we need to, and we don't feel safe driving. So.
Well, good deal. You know, tell us about the what else you got going on there in Salt Lake City.
Man, I tell you what, Jonathan didn't leave me much to talk about. As far as I know, there's nothing going on that I know of. I know we're doing some big classes coming up at the beginning of the year as far as our training stuff. We're looking forward to seeing some students come in again. That's pretty much all I have. I think we're kind of easy going out here.
Pretty quiet out in Salt Lake City. Your friends out east, they've got a new addition to the terminal going up. They got changes in pay. You guys are just even keeled, smooth sailing. I love it. Hey, well, John, as always, we appreciate you being with us. I know a Friday after a holiday is probably not the most opportune time for a fleet manager to step away from their fleet, but you know, you always step in a pinch, so we appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Dennis. And since I'm probably hosting the last time for 2024, I would like to wish everybody a Happy New Year.
Excellent. Thank you. Same to you, sir. If you or anybody else there in Salt Lake City, Utah has a question, comment, or concern, don't hesitate to jump on a microphone.
We'll do it.
All right back here. Good morning, folks. Springfield, Missouri. How you guys doing today? You know, we must have had some folks in line. I think when we first started out, I think we had like 8 people here, but now we've kind of filled in a little bit. But are there any new folks here this week? Any new people? Raise your hand real quick. Any new people here in Springfield? Well,
We got a president up here underneath the tree for you.
president underneath the tree. No, I mean, but if you are new at any of our locations, we do want to take this time to welcome you to the team. You know, we know it's a holiday week, so you probably not a ton of new folks, but of course we always see some familiar faces. We want to tell our old friends hello and welcome. Glad you're here, and hopefully we can get you service, whatever you need while you're here, and get you back out on the road or wherever you want to be as quickly as we can. So, morning, Dave.
Morning, Dennis. You know, Richard brought up a good point, you know, picking trainees up out in front of their building up in Pittston. Same thing here in Springfield. We don't want you picking students up or dropping them off out in front of campus out on Glenstone. Very dangerous location to do that. And, you know, we don't want to be interacting with traffic. And as you all know, you guys see a lot more of the road than what Dennis and I do. People are not paying attention when they're driving. So if you stop and you got somebody getting out of your truck, that's something they're not used to. And we don't want anybody getting hit or anybody losing any luggage or anything like that. So, hey, you know, make sure you drop them off over here if you have a trailer on, or if you bobtail, you want to bobtail over there and go through, pick up a student or drop one off, that's fine too as well. But no stopping out in front of campus. So it was a good point from Richard's part.
Excellent point. You know, we'll have a few safety deals. You know, it is a holiday, so the highways are still jam packed. You know, last week it was folks going to where they need to go. Now it's going to be folks coming back home to their respective locations. So still, we want to be on high alert. Make sure that we're looking out for folks that have maybe had a little bit too much holiday cheer. That's a big thing this time of year. Folks are celebrating, so make sure that you're paying attention. Slow down just a little bit, and of course, you know, making sure that if weather comes, that we're making good decisions. You know, the coaching is always consider not driving. No matter where you are in the country, weather doesn't come to stay. It comes in a system that moves. Most jurisdictions in 2024, now almost 2025, they've got state-of-the-art technology to deploy their plows, treat their roads, let that other holiday traffic clear the way. 4, 6, 8, 10 hours later, it's a completely different driving situation. And plus, this time of year, you know, you typically get a little bit of extra time on your appointments anyway. So it's no rush to get that cereal, that ice cream, those chicken breasts to wherever they need to be if there's inclement weather.
That is true. So, yeah, your safety is number one and that of the motoring public. So just be aware, you know, we got our holiday party coming up January 3rd here at Prime. So if you can make it back and make it to that, you're more than welcome to. It's a good time. But once again, don't drink and drive. If you had any alcohol, we don't want you driving behind that wheel. Stay away from that and get yourself a room and wait until the next day and then maybe get a load out of here. So,
you know, and I don't know the exact numbers on Geotab and Netrodyne as we get to the end of the year, but we're pretty dang close. You know, I think we've got over 6,200 Brienne installed. Is that about right? She said probably over 6,300 at this point. So we're coming down to the very end, and this kind of probably takes you back to about 2008 when we did the E-Logs deal and had to just finally drag some of those final folks in by the collar and get it done.
we did. But, you know, it was one of the best things we ever went to. And we were well before the requirement by FMCSA. Robert decided to, we tested them, and Robert decided, hey, let's go with it. And we did that. And it was kind of a panic mode a little bit for some of the drivers, and especially some of the in-house fleet managers like you, me. And, but, it made us a better company. There's no doubt about it. And I think these cameras will as well. It's just going to take some time getting used to them. We're getting used to them inside the walls. We're not 100% perfect yet, but we're going to get there. And so are you, make you a better driver overall. And that's what it's about. Your safety, being protected out there on the highways, so we know what's going on, and what happens as well. So
by no means do I want to wish our lives away, but I'm interested in what we'll be talking about a year from now as it pertains to our CSA scores, as it pertains to our accident numbers per million miles. We're not even 100% yet, and we're already seeing some positive movement on those numbers.
No doubt, our unsafe driving dropped 3%. Hopefully it drops again, because if it does another 2 or 3%, we'll be below the red line. We'll be down in the yellow, which means we're getting better. So, and that's what it's about.
That's what it's all about. You got some numbers for us this week?
I do. This past week we had 141 DOT inspections, 103 clean ones. So 73% clean rate. So give yourself a round of applause. That's awesome. We've been above 70% for a while here, and that's great. And that's what it's about, getting those clean inspections in. Just a couple things, we had an occurrence, and this is just a one-off, but we had a gentleman that I believe it was in Georgia, wasn't it? And we saw the video on this. And this is what videos can do to help us as a carrier and help you as a driver. He drove underneath this little device, and what it was is they take a picture of inside your cab, and they want to see if you're on your cell phone. That's what it is. And sure enough, once he gets by, going down the interstate, there's a state trooper off on the right shoulder waiting. And sure enough, he had his cell phone down on his lap. So the officer pulls him over and writes him a ticket for using the cell phone or having cell phone accessible. I don't know if that's 100% legal. We'll find out, but driver's going to fight it. But, just be aware of situations like that. These states are getting smarter and smarter on cell phones, and it is a source of revenue, but not only that, it is a regulation. You can't be using it. You can't have it in your hand. Can't be moving it around. I know Georgia has that device. I think one of the Carolinas is using it as well. This AI technology, they're looking for it as well. And there's be more and more states out there. So, don't be fiddling with your cell phone. Make sure you got it mounted, got it away from you. If you want to be the safest, man, keep it in the bunk. That's what I would do. I'd keep it away from you so you don't have that tendency to grab it or use it and then forgetting, and then get stopped. And, now this driver is going to have to fight the ticket. And that's what I think he's going to do. And hire an attorney. It's all going to cost money. And so don't put yourself in that situation, unfortunately. And hopefully everything works out for him, but we'll see. It's one of those learning experiences.
Hey, selfishly on our side, my job is to make sure we prevent that from happening. We don't get the opportunity to fight that. We're stuck with it. He can fight the ticket portion, but the failed inspection, man, we're stuck with it. So we've got to do our part on the inside and protect that. Protect 3706. That's our DOT number. Protect our number.
When it relates to DOT inspections, just a couple words of advice on that. Make sure you are prepared. If you get pulled in, the officer may ask you, hey, I'm going to have you pull around. I'll come out to your truck. I'll meet you out at your truck. If that's the case, stay inside your truck. Just wait for them to come out. Just say, hey, bring your paperwork inside. Bring your permits, your CDL. Then bring your stuff inside the building, meet them in there. They may walk out with you then and do an inspection, but just follow their directions. That makes the process goes a lot smoother. Not only that, make sure you're prepared. You got, your truck is all clean on the inside, clean on the outside. They like to see that. This time of year, it's extremely hard to keep your truck clean on the outside, and they realize that too as well. But the inside of the truck, if it's looking nice, you don't have paperwork up in the dash, you don't have your trash on the floor, because there's a chance they may want to get up in there and inspect it. They may ask you, hey, do you mind if I get inside your truck? And what they're looking for, obviously drugs, alcohol, any type of contraband, stuff like that. That's what they're looking for. And so make sure you don't have any of that with you too as well. You don't want to get caught with that. And this business is not the business to be involved in when you have those types of items in your truck. So stay away from that. Make sure You know, if you have any alcohol, you don't have it inside the cab. That's a big no. The only time you can have alcohol is manifested in a load. So if you're hauling a load of Anheuser-Busch, you're good to go. Other than that, you can't have a bottle of wine in there or something you want to take back to your wife or your girlfriend. That's a no-no. That's not part of the load. So stay away from that. Third thing is make sure you got your paperwork, your documents ready to go. You got your registration, you got your permits, you know your insurance, you have your insurance card, you know where your permit book is, you know where your instruction card is for your e-logs, everything that you're ready to go. So when they ask you for it, you can just produce it and make sure you get it back, including your CDL. Sometimes officers, they may say, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to take your license inside. I'll be back. Make sure you get that back before leaving the scale house, because once you leave, then we may have to send you back to your state to get another copy of it. So make sure you have all those documents and they return them back to you and just put them back where you found them. And it's just a simple process, but they need to go through it with you. And act, at the end of the day, act professional. You know, if they ask you a question, answer it. If you don't know the answer, tell them I don't know it. But don't fib around and try to, you know, out-talk them. They're good at what they do, and they do it all the time. So they've heard about every story out there, and they don't need to hear another one. The quicker they can get done with you, the quicker you can get out of there. And you don't waste their time, and they don't waste yours. So, you know, just a few words of advice, make your life go a little bit smoother out there on the road. So
2 good points, and we'll have Alex from our law department, and we'll have Leanne from permits. You know, all of that information, or just about all of it, is available over the Prime mobile app, which is now, you know, for over 6,300 of you, are available right there on the tablet inside of the truck. So
it is, no doubt. So
all right, let's get the first speaker up.
let's go. So from our log department this morning, we got Alex.
There he is.
Well, there you go. Oh, you're sitting down over there. I missed you. So good morning, Alex.
Morning, thank you. All right, today we're going to go over the PC that we have on the GeoTab, how to activate it, what we've seen in regards to its use, misuse, and the responsibilities regarding its usage while on the road. So first, we're going to talk about activating it. We've had a few questions about it. It's not very, it's a few steps to get to it, kind of like what it was on the Qualcomm. So I'm going to go by the list because it's, like I said, it's pretty exact. So to enable PC, it is a special condition status. You'll want to open the GeoTab app. From the GeoTab application at the top, it'll be hours of service, so HOS. That's where you'll normally see the drive, on duty, off duty, sleeper berth. At the bottom, which you may have to scroll down for, it will say view exemptions. Now, keep in mind, just like on the previous unit, it is a ignition sensitive status. So before you activate the PC, have the truck up and running. You don't want to activate PC, turn the truck on, and then be leaving and drive. So truck on. Once you hit view exemptions, it'll be there as the special condition. So it'll say yard move, or it'll say PC as the second option there. You would hit start, and that will enable the PC. Now it does need an annotation, just like all of the statuses. You want to be clear on what it is we're doing. Now it can be concise, you know, heading to Walmart, at home, visiting family, anything short is fine. And then when you're done using personal conveyance, make sure you disable it. Same steps, hours of service, exemptions, and then stop. So it'll say stop at that point. It will not need an annotation following that. So the reason I bring up the stopping of it is we've had a few drivers accidentally leave PC on. Now an issue with that is it will keep ticking down and not stop unless you turn the truck off. But if you have PC left on, you might have an hour, 2 hours on there. It'll show the distance traveled, which it didn't used to before. Now that may give us leeway if someone checks the logs. So if you get an inspection at roadside or get an inspection at a way station, you know, you may have an hour of PC on there, but it might only say a mile, right? But it is still a legal document. So we are still at risk whether or not it says a mile, because it says an hour or 2 hours, for them to say that that is misuse at that point. So, you know, again, it'll show the distance, but let's not put ourselves at risk. You want to make sure you are disabling the personal conveyance status when we are done. And last is the logging in. We've had a few calls about logging in. There is that video on the Prime app. Again, it is going to be through the Prime app, My Prime Home, trainings, and then videos. So My Prime Home, training, videos. It's about 22 minutes long. The first 5 minutes will show you how to log in. But of course, if you have any questions, you can call into logs. And then it will require your email and password to log into the GeoTab. So preemptively, if you want to get it done before you get it installed, if you don't know it, you can reset it to the My Prime app itself, or you can call IT at the 417-521-2500. Does anyone have any questions about PC activating it or anything we've gone through today?
Got off pretty easy there, Alex.
Short.
Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. What do you want next?
What you got next, brother?
We got our friends Colby and Rachel from Driver Health and Fitness. I think we just got Colby today.
Yep. Colby, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys? So yeah, I'm up here by myself. I apologize. So good morning, everybody. So I'm Colby, Driver Health and Fitness. Every week, and that's amazing. You talk about this is our last one of the year. That I think we've been on it every Friday with you for about 1.5 years now, which is incredible to be able to give you guys information, maybe give you health tips along the way, nutrition tips. This week, we're going to talk about, we have our Fit in 15 competition coming up that we do every year. This year, we're starting January 6th. You guys have seen the message. Actually, it's out on your app, the driver app in the news section for registration. We're doing it a little bit different this year. This year, we're doing it where it's actually going to be teams, so you have a partner. And most times, like I said, you guys can find your own partner and do it. But there's a way, like I said, this year we're going to try something different because we do have the same way of doing it with our weekly workouts, daily workouts, nutritional videos, group calls. We all do way to gamify and collect points. We see a lot of results that way. But this year, like I said, it's going to be with, you'll have a partner you'll do it with. So if you don't have one, we'll help you find one. It'll be real simple. But really, that's what I want to talk about this morning. We'll send out another notification. Jamie's actually going to put it on our socials too, so you can see it on the in the comments for today's video. But does anybody have any questions right now? I know each week we've talked about the last couple weeks about like small habits, the power of small habits, things like that. But this week I just want to make sure and get in front of you to talk about Fit in 15. Anybody got any questions or anything? That's it. That's what I was going to talk about. Unless you want me to talk about something to you.
Nope.
No? All right. Well, thanks for having me up here.
Hey, before you get out of here, I just want to tell you, thank you for being with us. Like I said, you like you said, you were here, or your team was here every single Friday morning of 2024. And believe it or not, we got some negative feedback on that. Why is Driver Health and Fitness here every single week? I'll tell you why. It's important.
That's very important.
It's important. There's some things we talk about every week because it's important. And the health and wellness of the folks that are driving these trucks is very important. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
And thank you for being a part of this every week.
Thank you for having me. And I think to your point, I appreciate that. And I do think, like you said, it's we talk about culture, we talk about those kinds of things. It's that important because it is. It has, the health and fitness of a driver has to do with the safety of a driver, right? So a healthier, happier is a safer driver too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you.
All right.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year.
Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hopefully next week we'll get the better half back up there. Got to give him a jab one or two every once in a
Got
while.
to get it in where you can, right, Dave? Got to
That's
get it
right.
in where you can. All right. Who we got next?
So coming up next, we got the head of our training program for our PSDs. We got Stan Kasterke. So wearing his Chiefs red. So good morning, Stan.
Thank you. Good morning. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to be up here this morning. So Dennis had asked me to talk about a couple of things this morning. One is red light and red light running. So, I could ask the question, when is it okay to run a red light? It is never. Thank you. I see this means no in Missouri. It is never okay to run a red light. How do we keep from running a red light? Slow down. Be prepared to stop. The Smith system is a system that we've used. I've certified. I think Dave's certified. I don't know if Dennis ever certified in that or not, but the Smith system talks about keys, and it talks about 5 keys. So the all good kids like milk. Did you know that? All good kids like milk? So here's what all good kids like milk mean. Aim high in steering, get the big picture, keep your eyes moving, leave yourself and out, and make sure they see you. So let's relate that to red lights. If we're looking at least 15 seconds down the road, a minimum of 15 seconds, or really what Smith system teaches is as far as we can see, we're coming up to that light, that traffic control light. We didn't see it turn green. So what's going to happen? It's going to turn yellow and then it's going to turn red. So we have to approach those lights with the anticipation and the expectation that that light is probably going to be red before we get to it. If you're in, there's all kinds of arguments. I've been in trucking for a long time, been in the safety side, operations side, training side, and I've had a lot of people want to argue the fact of why they ran a red light. There is no excuse for running a red light. That's just the fact. There may be times that you may be there, maybe if an emergency vehicle is coming up behind you, you may have to get out of the intersection to clear that intersection, but there is never a reason to run a red light. If you have a sudden break, if you're not prepared to stop for that light when it turns red, what else can happen? We can have a load shift. Now we've got cargo damage. Maybe the vehicle in front of us did get stopped, but we weren't prepared to stop. So now that we have a collision, we have load shift, we have the potential for injury. I care about you all, and I appreciate Dennis wanting me to bring this subject up today, because we've called individuals, family members and let them know that their family members not coming home because of situations that have happened out on the road. We care about you. We care about your health. We care about your safety. We want to make sure that you get home, but we want to make sure that everyone in those vehicles around you get home as well, because they're loved just as much as you are. The next thing that I want to talk about are U-turns. Man, we're hitting all the big ones today, aren't we? So making a U-turn, and actually I looked up some regs in Missouri. Well, let me say this, for each state, there are actually regulations that say a vehicle, not just a commercial motor vehicle, but a vehicle is not allowed. There are laws saying that you're not allowed to make U-turns, okay? Man, I get it. You're going down the road. You're trying to figure out where you're at. You're in the left lane, maybe the middle lane. You've got this car. You're needing to get to the right. That vehicle won't let you over. You slow down, they slow down. You speed up, they speed up. I know that can be frustrating. Eventually get to where you need to get to that right lane, take that next exit, get turned around and come around that way, okay? So at 60 miles an hour, we're traveling a mile per minute. Kind of put that into perspective. For that truck to make a U-turn, or actually even to make like a left turn, if we're turning from, let's say, from Kearney Street onto Glenstone, it takes about 30 seconds for that truck to make that left turn. At least 30 seconds. Now, if you have a PSD in the truck with you, it feels like 5 minutes. But it's going to take at least 30 seconds for you to make that left turn. If you're making a U-turn, you may see headlights that look like they're a mile down the road. Well, they could be. But if they're doing 60 miles an hour, they're going to be there in about a minute. 5,280 feet. That's what we're traveling in 1 minute, 1 mile. You may think you have time, but you've made that U-turn and you've committed. It's going to take you at least a minute probably to make that U-turn. In that mile, in that 1 minute, that vehicle is right there at you. Now, if they're not paying attention, what can happen there? It can be a very serious situation. It can be a fatal situation. It can be a serious injury situation. Hopefully no one would get hurt. But you still have had an accident. You've got downtime for the truck. You know all of that stuff. We have to be careful. U-turns is never a good idea. Go to the next exit, get off at that exit, find a wide spot, a parking lot, something like that. Make that turn around and get headed back the other direction to get to the exit that you need to be at. Okay? Anybody have any questions at all for me?
Stan, now that we have this Netrodon camera system, we have the opportunity for drivers to dispute an alert that they may get. And we definitely encourage that. If you haven't downloaded haven't gotten signed on to the driver iApp, get signed on, view your alerts. We think that's really important. But we see a lot of traffic lights where, like you said, man, we we get to, and the reason is I was at the point of no return. You want to talk about that for just a second?
Absolutely. Well, that's where if you're paying attention to what's going on in front of you, if you're looking 15 seconds down the road, if you're looking as far as you can see down the road, if you didn't see that light turn green, approach it with caution, prepared to be able to stop. There is a point of no return. That's not an incorrect statement, but you've allowed yourself to get to that point of no return. Does anybody disagree with that? We don't have to talk about it right now. We can talk about it afterwards. If you have questions about that, there is a point of no return, but you've created that point of no return.
Appreciate that. Anybody have any questions for Stan?
And I'm going to follow up with Richard, and I appreciate Richard saying that. Do you have a question? Oh, okay. You just resting your hand. Okay. I'm watching. I'm kind of like an auctioneer up there. You raise your hand, you're going to be bidding on something. To go along with Richard and David's point as well, don't stop in roadways, okay, to let these trainees out. It is so unsafe. Just don't do it. I appreciate what you do. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for all you do every day. And any questions you have, I sit over in the Plaza building. I'm more than happy to answer those questions for you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Stan. Let's give him a round of applause.
There you go. A lot of good information there, Dennis.
Tons of good information, you know?
It is.
All right.
So up next, we had her up here last week. Leanne, would like to bring her back again because we talked about permits, talked about, hut stickers, you name it, and it's that time of year. So good morning, Leanne, from our permit department.
Good morning. Yeah, it's renewal time again. And this year we have hut stickers, which makes it a little more difficult, a little more time sensitive. So if you haven't already gone on your app and requested to either have it sent or to pick it up somewhere, made a plan to get yours, there's no grace period for that. So after the first of the year, they will start writing tickets in New York for not having the New York hut sticker. And we don't want to see that happen. So if you haven't made a plan yet, go ahead and do so. And also, when it comes to permits and being inspected and whatnot, if you're in the yard, you can bring your permit book to us and we can update it for you while we're here at the Springfield yard. If you're on the road and you don't have something you need, everything is available on the app under My Permits. So you can go on the app under My Pages, My Permits, and your registration, IFTA, insurance, everything's on there. So that's a good tool to use when you're in a pinch. And IFTA stickers are also in. We have a grace period on those though. So you have a little time yet to get the IFTA sticker. We have until the end of February for that. But they will start writing tickets March 1st, first thing. So you want to not put it off and go ahead and get it as soon as you can. Get it when you get your hut sticker. And there's a request on the app that says IFTA sticker request on the homepage. So you can go on there if you need to request to have it sent somewhere or request to have it sent to another terminal so that we can get it to you in a timely fashion. And that's all I have.
I think you got a question over here, Leanne.
Okay.
Can you put the HUD sticker on top of the old one?
We prefer if you peel off the old sticker just because it'll peel. It'll have a tendency to peel off, but do the best you can, basically. And we don't like to see if the stickers stacked up on the side of the truck because that gives DOT a reason to pull you over. They'll say, this truck's been on the road a while. I bet there's something I can find here. So we suggest peeling off the old ones and only displaying the current ones.
All right. That's a pro tip. Thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause. Technology is something else. I remember as a fleet manager many years ago, this time of year, it was just stacks and stacks of envelopes full of permits that had to go out all across the country. Now, Brianne and Leanne and their teams have got together and got it right there on the app. So it used to be available on your phone. Now, with, like I said, over 6,300 of you got the GeoTab installed. It's right there for you. So one thing I will ask you to do, so how many have used the app to pull up permits? Raise your hand. Not everybody has raised their hand, and that's okay because you got the permit book too. But go in there and teach yourself how to do it. If you don't know, call your fleet manager, call the permits department, learn how to do it, because I guarantee you, when that officer's right there, your adrenaline's pumping, your memory's not what it should be, you're not going to, be able to navigate it as quickly sometimes as the officer would like. So make sure you know how to do that. And that goes with accident reporting as well. We get a lot of drivers that boastfully say, I don't know how to report an accident. I've never had one. Well, that just means you're not trained properly, okay? You still need to know how to report these things, even if you never had one. And I hope you never have to use it in real life. But inevitably, the time that you will need to use it, you won't have that knowledge. You won't know how to send the pictures, and then we'll have to bring Kevin French or Cami Elder down here to kind of take you through that process again. So, this coming up on January 1, 2025, is a good time to remind yourself how to do these things, to refresh just in case something has changed since the last time you had to do it. Also, we had Alex up here know how to, make sure you know how to send those E-rides to the officer. It's changed now that you've gotten into the Geotab system, so just make sure you know how to do it. We've had 140-something drivers inspected this week. That means we had a whole bunch of others that didn't. So you didn't get that practice, but know how to do it with your system. So,
Any questions so far? Because we're going to keep moving on.
let's keep rolling.
All right, we got from the leasing department this morning, we have Maddie and Josh here. Haven't heard from them in a while, so good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Happy Friday. Josh and I just have a few things to kind of talk to you guys about this morning. First thing we wanted to talk about is forgiven lease payments. So forgiven lease payments are real popular around this time when drivers take a lot of home time. So we want to talk about how do you earn them, how to use them, things like that. So you earn a forgiven lease payment after you've been leasing for 2 years, and that is a forgiven lease payment forgives your truck payment and your APU payment for that week. So with that, you earn 1 after 2 years, 1 after 3, and then 2 for 4 years, and then 2 consistently every year after 4. Now this goes kind of hand in hand with the retention and rewards program. So you want to make sure when you're switching truck to truck, again, taking that time off, that you have a contract signed before that 59th day. So those forgiven lease payments will move from standard lease to standard lease. With that, next week payroll cutoff is Tuesday. So if you are wanting to apply one of those, please reach out to Leasing Tuesday before 4 o'clock so we can get that on your settlement for you. Next thing we have is new truck orders. I know those are super popular, and I wanted to let everyone know we have reopened them. So you can now go on Success's website and order a new truck through Freightliner and Peterbilt. And they are currently doing April deliveries. So that's a cool thing. I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk about contract changes. So fun. Who doesn't love that, right? Fun. I'll be quick. Don't worry. So the first thing is that the tire fund is going to get increased from 2.75 cents per mile to 3 cents a mile for the standard lease. And there's the repair and tire replacement reserve is going to be increased from 1 cent per mile to 2 cents per mile. On the ACE lease, now it's a little different from the tire fund because that's going to be actually refunded to you at the end of your lease. So it's not the same thing. The next thing I'll talk about is the performance bond. It'll be increased from $1,500 to $1,750 over 50 weeks. And lastly, the deductibles. So a trailer deductible is going to increase from $500 to $1,000. The liability deductible will increase from $500 to $1,000, and the cargo deductible will be increased the same from $500 to $1,000. This is just our way of covering those costs because I'm sure you guys know everything's getting more expensive. It's hard out there for everyone. So this is our way of kind of covering those costs.
Also want to kind of piggyback on that. These changes will go into effect January 1. So if you're currently locked into a contract right now, those will not change. But whenever you sign that new contract, those changes will then be in effect. Does anyone have any questions for us?
That performance bond, you're not going to take 250 from us.
What do you,
Well,
sorry.
I already paid the 1,500. Are they going to take the 250 more?
Yeah. So whenever you sign your new lease, then you'll pay into it
I'm an owner
gradually.
operator.
Oh, perfect. Then you won't have to worry about it unless you sign something after January 1.
I've got an online question. Can we order Freightliners?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Anything else? All righty. Thank you, guys.
Oh, wait.
I was just gonna ask, you said if we already signed a lease, then we don't worry about it until we sign the next lease?
Yeah, these are all for new leases. So like,
Okay.
we're not going to change the contract you're on now.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Madison. Thanks, Josh. Let's give them a round of applause.
We're moving right along, D.
Time's looking good.
It is.
Moving right along. We got a couple more speakers left, so we're on point. So next, we're going to bring up from driver lineup, Mr. Chris Ewing.
Chris has been here for a while. He drove, what are you, 3 million mile, aren't you?
Yeah, just under 3.
3 million, yeah, pretty close. And it's great to have you. And your wife was just under 2 million, and Stephanie works in the safety department. So hopefully nobody tries to steal her from us because we need her.
I don't think she wants to go anywhere. She's loving her.
That's good. Good deal. Well, good morning, Chris.
Good morning. There are great numbers on your guys' CSA already in such a short period. So I know we're about 85% with Netrodine installed already, and to see 3% go down on the unsafe driving, that's pretty incredible. So I think that's going to be a great thing. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. We have our Christmas party coming up, and with that brings some challenges to line up as far as covering freight, parking, things like that. If you haven't checked it out yet, we have a new lot loaded in the northwest corner of the property. And to access that lot from there's a road that runs just north of the training pad, goes past a little pavilion out there. And there's about 180 parking spots out there. I haven't been out there really checked it. I think there's about 180 spots. So if you haven't been out there, check that out. We are utilizing that. And with the upcoming party, we're going to pack every inch of this place, I'm sure. So familiarize yourself with that lot and check that out. If you're in the yard for the party or shop work, getting the Netrodine camera install, and you're available for local help, we could probably use you sometimes. So if you're ever in the yard and you got a little time, check with us. Sometimes we have trailers that are out of service somewhere we need picked up, or, a lot of times I've got customers that they have a pickup, but the delivery time is pushed out and we can't get that changed. So we still need the load picked up and we can bring it back to the yard, make you guys a few bucks doing something like that. You guys, the hazmats, we kind of been on that the last year, really, and that has improved a lot doing the hazmat research. If you have to do a hazmat research and you're not familiar with where that's at, just come and see lineup. We can show you. It's up from the homepage, training, classes and training. You'll scroll down. There's a test and a study guide there as well. So you guys have been doing really good on that. We appreciate it. On the safety side of things, we've had a few complaints and a few close calls exiting the truck gate onto Packer. This area has grown up quite a bit, and we've had some issues with folks not yielding the right of way as we're leaving the gate. So just take an extra second, check, look both ways. The food bank down there has been real busy, it seems like a lot. And there's some extra traffic and folks parking on the pad now for the plaza building, things like that. So I want to step back here a little bit on the Netrodine camera. So we're at about 8. So if you are here and you've just got that installed, or if you're one of the little bit that have to do it still, go on the Prime app and sign the video consent form. So when we're planning trucks or you call to get a load and we're like, okay, we'll get you on that. And then you hang up, we go to plan your truck. We can't plan your truck unless that video consent form is signed. So from the Prime app, there's a blue box at the top from the homepage. It just says video consent form. You'll scroll down to the bottom, do a quick electronic signature and submit that, and it's good to go. So make sure we have those done. We are looking forward to a great 2025, everyone. Be safe. Make sure your PTAs are right. If there's anything we can do, line up to help you guys out, just come and see us. Appreciate it, everyone.
All right, great job, Chris. That's good information. Tons of folks will be here for the party here next Friday, so we're looking forward to a good time.
We'll be a full house, I got a feeling. So
Full house. So
I'm
finally,
gonna let you introduce our next guy. You kind of know him, I think.
know him a little bit. His name's Jason. You know, he's all right. Now, Jason Seymour's been here a long time, and I always give Jason a lot of hard times because when I was a young fleet manager, I had to sit next to him, and one of the things I always appreciated about, and don't let me get on my working on site soapbox, but I credit a lot of the information that I got from listening to conversations that folks like Jason had and some of the more experienced fleet managers around me had, so that's so important that we're here, we're absorbing that culture, and I credit Jason as being one of those key figures that I got a large piece of my trucking knowledge from sitting in the area by him. So good morning, and thank you, Jason.
Well, thank you, man. That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I'm a little worried that, the hammer might be coming. Now, you're going to ask something of me here in a little bit. So it's always a little bit scary when you see the safety director walking up to your desk. You never know. But most of the time it's good. But anyway, good morning, everyone. Jason Seymour, Reefer Operations. I was trying to figure out how I'm always the one that gets to come down here the Friday between Christmas and New Year's and say, man, you guys do great. It's been a great year, but we need a little more out of you. We just got off of our sales meeting. We have one every morning. Most areas are booked or overbooked. The next week or so is busy. We have customers that need our support, and there's probably many of you sitting here that need a load or two to ensure the financial health of your business as we enter 2025. I just want our commitment operationally. We know people want to spend time with their families. We just got past Christmas. New Year's is next week. If you can get out of the house, or if you're available today and haul a load, we have options to be able to get a load and get a load covered for our customers and make sure that you get back by Tuesday, because we know that's important, okay? And here's the reality of it. The people that sit for a week, 10 days, 14 days, typically have a really, really hard time in January. And it breaks my heart when I see good folks that we work with for years and years that maybe make a bad decision, stay home a little bit longer than what they could afford, and it just sets the tone for a really, really tough 2025. So, the other great thing about it is it gives you an opportunity to win some cash, right? Holiday available incentive. This is Reefer Division, A seats only. Every day that you're available or dispatched from December 23rd through January the 3rd gets you an entry into the drawing. 82 winners, a little over $200,000, $225,000, I think, to be exact. We've got a couple of $25,000 winners, so it's a nice little bump there too. So again, every day that you haul a load or you're available to haul a load, that puts an entry in there too. So, and I think that was a big success last year. It was really exciting to see the drawing and see the names come out, and it really, it's changed some drivers, lives, really. I mean, that's a lot of money. So great opportunity. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is during the holidays, right? The bad guys are out in force, cargo security, right? There's nothing more important to us than your safety. But along with that goes the safety of your equipment and the cargo, right? So we need to make sure that equipment is secured. A lock on our trailer at all times, whether it's loaded or empty. I know we get a lot of help from our security folks with that in the plaza. It is important. It is our policy, and we do expect that it be followed because it helps. We don't drop trailers unattended. If you need help, make sure you get with your fleet manager or our security folks. We have a lot of options available to us. But again, I think Bill can attest, and it's probably been a while since he's been up here, but cargo theft, he reports it every Thursday in our staff meeting. It is on the rise. It's crazy increases. A lot of the hot areas are still the same. So if you are taking a load through the house, and it doesn't matter whether it's a holiday or not, make sure you're taking precautions. The days of being able to just leave a loaded trailer sitting at a truck stop are, that's not acceptable. And it opens us all up to a huge amount of liability. So, I think that's pretty much all I have today, unless there's any questions. I just appreciate what you guys do. It's been a rough year, I know. 2025 is going to be better. I'm confident of that. Holiday, hope everybody had a good Christmas. New Year's right around the corner. Big holiday party on January the 3rd. So anything? Anybody? Bueller? No?
All right.
Man, you guys are killing me.
I gave you compliments. Now get up the stage now. All right. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Jason. You know, kind of just to follow up on what Jason's saying, man, it's been a little bit tough in 2024, but, you know, there's a lot of other companies, and I mean a lot of them are not standing here on Friday morning on 12/27/24 because they had to close their doors. You know, and that goes from the little guys, the 1 and 2 trucking companies, all the way up to 1,000 trucking companies have had to close their doors in 2024 because of the climate. Here we are standing proud. Okay, here we are standing ready to take on the challenges that 2025 will soon bring. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm always excited to be a part of the team here at Prime. Like I said, just a reminder, holiday party coming next Friday. So, you know, we work really hard here, but we also play really hard here too, because we earned that opportunity. So great meeting today, Dave. Thank you for putting this together. Had some awesome speakers. Thank you to all of our speakers that, you know, pulled themselves out of the house on a Friday morning after the holiday and came in and gave our drivers good information.
And thank you to Jason for volunteering this Friday again. So hopefully next year we get you back again. So, but yeah, we got a great team. You know, you mentioned team right over here to our right. If you have any questions on your Prime mobile app or anything geotab wise, come on over and see Brianne and Richard over to our right, your left. They'll help you out. And
real quick, and again, if you haven't gotten signed on to the Driver Eye app, come on over. Richard and Brianne can help you. Safety department can help you. Whatever you need to do.
Make sure you have that Driver Eye app. You need that. It's important on that Netrodyne camera. So.
You got on red today. I got on red today.
Yes.
I think I whiffed the last couple Fridays, you know, but today I think I got it right. We got on red, RED. We remember everyone deployed. You know, as we celebrate, you know, Christmas and New Year's, there's some folks that are away from their families, away from their kids, away from their husbands and wives to protect our freedom. So we always want to just take a moment to say thank you to those folks and to any of our folks that are here in the room and any of our locations that are listening to this. If you did serve in the armed forces, if you did defend our freedom, if you would stand for just a second to give us the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you so much to those that served. Thank you to those families that sacrificed on behalf of those that have served. We appreciate you so much. So, you know, Lucky is out working. I'm sure somebody asked Darrel Hopkins to come on up here. You know, Darrel is, you know, we talk about a lot of change in 2024. You know, in 2024, Darrel was, you know, I'm gonna say appointed, but man, you got thrown into the fire. You're the new president here. You know, I've got an opportunity to hear him speak on a couple times this year, and you guys will be extremely proud of the way that Darrel represents Prime. And, you know, hearing him tell a story in a couple different situations, you know, I learned a lot about him, and, you know, I'm really looking forward to, you know, working under your leadership. So good morning, Darrel.
Well, I agree with Jason. I think something's happened to Dennis. He's complimenting everybody. So, you know, I think the only thing I would say, it's interesting sitting out here listening to the speakers talk and what they have to say, because, you know, it's tough. You know, we talk about family. You're going to hear it from us a lot because we mean it. You know, and then you got Jason who has to come up here and say, well, it's important, but hey, we really need you out there running. But I think there's this balance. You know, we're really trying to protect you in all aspects. We want you to be part of the family. We want you to see your family. And you notice he was up here asking. He wasn't telling anybody to do anything. He's just asking and saying, hey, here's some good advice. Think about it, because it can really help you in your business. And so there's always a balance between family and business. And, you know, this time of year especially, we truly do hope that you got an opportunity to see your family. It's really important to us. And it kind of really hit me as we're going around to the different terminals this time of year, celebrating with what we consider our family at all these other terminals. And even on the ride there, on the plane there, one of the young men with us was saying, we're headed to Decatur. He goes, oh yeah, my mom and dad both work at the Decatur terminal. And I started thinking about it, and it's really, that's prevalent throughout our system. You know, in fact, my wife and my son both work for Prime. I mean, you find out that it really gets into your blood. It's part of your family. And you realize that, by the way, these are my friends. I mean, you know, you come to work every day thinking you're just coming to work, but you realize these are your friends. And I know many of you have made a lot of friends with other professional drivers in our company. It's really powerful. And I believe it's really what bonds our company and makes us one of the key elements of our success is the fact that we all care about each other. And this time of year, I think really brings it out. It really emphasizes how important when we talk about family that it truly is. And so I just want to introduce you to the guy that, in my opinion, really created what I consider a family atmosphere, this whole culture and how we operate our company. And I truly hope that's what you find. But I'd like to bring up our owner, our CEO, Mr. Robert Lowe.
Thanks, Darrell. Man, oh man. I mean, we're on this complimentary kick. I mean, you did a fine job there. I've got to compliment Dennis and David, Jason. You know, these, I hope you kind of agree with me that they know what they're doing. You know, they built this place. You know, I get all the credit, but I don't deserve it because these rank and file Prime leaders, as well, along with our drivers, built this company. And it really is, sounds like I'm bragging. I'm just stating the fact it's special. You know, you're part of a special team. Your family now. We don't want you to go running off. You can't avoid it. You know, family is family. And you're here, and we appreciate you being here. You know, we're talking about, you know, the quality of life and getting home and all that kind of thing. Let me just mention, kind of tie back into Colby. It's not just quality of life, it's length of life. Now, there's a stat that the industry shouldn't be very proud of, and that's the longevity, the life expectancy of drivers. And it's not very long, 61 years. Think about that, 61 years. And why is that? I mean, you all know, it's a sedentary lifestyle. It's not able to get enough exercise and, you know, get the right nutrition. That's why we spend a lot of time, because we care about you all and we don't want you to die prematurely. You know, why should other industrial workers out there in America live to be 80 and, you know, drivers get cut off at 61? Ain't nothing right about that. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your health and your life expectancy to drive these trucks. We appreciate you driving them, but we want you healthy. And that's why we spend, that's the answer to, you know, the question that was I call it phoned in, but it's not really phoned in. They type it in and they hit send. But that's the reason we have Colby up here every week, you know, pounding away, encouraging people, helping people to live better and longer. So that's why we do it. We care about you and we want you to live long, happy lives. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. I trust you did. Those of you that were hauling freight, truly appreciate it. You know, we're not quite through this thing yet. We've got New Year's coming up, and then we have the holiday party. And on top of all that, our customers really want us to move their freight. They really want us to pick up their freight. So we're going to be trying to do that. And, you know, everyone that helps, truly appreciate that. I don't think I have anything else unless there's questions for me. If there are, I hope they're softballs. You know, if they're too easy, I'll let Dennis handle them. Folks, thank you very much. Happy New Year. God bless you, and please be safe out there.
Thanks, sir.